Hello and welcome to the first episode of my Custom Archetype Showcase video series, where in each episode we'll be looking at one archetype that I've designed from the ground up. We'll be looking at all the monsters, all their support cards, seeing a little bit of what the deck can do, and then I'll be showing off some little replays on Dueling Book at the end in terms of how a turn 1 combo play can go and what the deck is able to produce. Now, I've been passionate about custom cards ever since I was like 5 or 6. I think some of my earliest creative outlets were drawing these weird shaped things on blobs of paper that generally didn't represent anything close to a monster card, as you'd know from traditional Yu-Gi-Oh! And then when about age 13, 14, I decided I'd get kind of serious about custom cards, and I started designing whole sets worth of 100 card sets, where I'd intricately cut each card to the same size, shape, design its effect, do the artwork, make archetypes, some standalone cards, and we had a growing theme over the sets. I think I've got about 3,000 to 4,000 worth of these cards that I'm eventually now getting into kind of the modern era, because they were designed obviously about a decade ago. Some of them were. A lot of times they've been revamped in order to keep up with the modern game, and so this archetype is no different from those. So originally designed back in 2014, the Pursuer of Justice archetype are based on characters from Fire Emblem, the Sacred Stones, which is one of my favourite GBA games. And here we're just going to have a look at how I've modernised them to make them applicable to the real game in 2023, how the deck functions, go through every single main deck card and extra deck card, and then I'm going to do some showcase replays from Dueling Book afterwards to kind of show you what a typical turn 1 end setup can be for them. The Pursuer of Justice archetype are a series of level 3 and level 6 main deck spellcaster and warrior monsters that ladder into powerful ritual, fusion, synchro, exceeds and link bosses to form strong end boards that can be hard to break. Consistent amongst all the monsters is that they prevent you from special summoning monsters, except Pursuer of Justice monsters, preventing them being abused as an engine in other decks and keeping the focus on building to your own bosses. The cards are all based on characters from Fire Emblem the Sacred Stones, with the end bosses being characters with major story relevance, and the others being those that make up your party. The 3 tuners of the archetype are based on the 3 trainee characters from this game, Amelia, Ross and Ewan. The archetype centralises around the ritual boss and main protagonist of the Sacred Stones, Erica, who is strengthened by her brother Ephraim and loyal protector Seth. The Sacred Stones themselves are your spells that each support the various summoning mechanic of their noble bloodline, Ritual, Fusion, Link and Synchro. Art-wise, each Pursuit of Justice monster uses their base hero special attack render from Fire Emblem Heroes, which I have then overlaid on top of art from the in-game map from the chapter that character first appeared in. First up, it's Pursuit of Justice Colm, the Capable Thief.
Name's Colm. I'm a handy guy to have around. I know I can help you out.
He's a level 3 Dark Warrior monster with 1200 attack and 500 defense, and he has 2 hard once per turn effects. If you control no monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand, and if it's sent to the graveyard as material for a Pursuit of Justice monster, you can add 1 Sacred Stone card from your deck to your hand.
What? I didn't steal anything. Seriously!
Now Colm is the main starter for the archetype, enabling you to get a free body on board before you commit to your normal summon, which you can immediately link away into your Link 1, who we'll get to a lot later, and then start accruing some major advantage as you search a Sacred Stone card, which opens the door to many different possible end boards.
People in my profession have sharp eyes. Far off enemies, I'll spot them.
Next up is Pursuer of Justice Amelia, the Raring Recruit.
I have to get stronger to protect the people I care about.
Now, like with the other 2 recruits from the Fire Emblem Sacred Stones game, Amelia is a tuner along with Ross and Ewan, who we'll get to in a minute, and she has 1200 attack and 2000 defense. Like with Colm, she's got 2 hard once per turn effects, the first of which allows you to banish 1 Pursuit of Justice monster from your graveyard to summon 1 monster from your deck with the same name as that banished monster. And also has the effect that if it's used as material for a warrior monster, you get to add a level 3 Pursuit of Justice monster from your deck to your hand.
Take that! And that! Yeah!
So not only are you able to further your field very easily with this card. It also essentially replaces itself when you use it as a warrior material. You just get another dude to hand, which allows you to combo off even further.
This armor is so heavy. I feel like I'm going to tip over.
Next up, it's Pursuit of Justice, Ewan the Arcane Apprentice.
I'm Ewan. I've been training hard. Let me demonstrate.
This guy is a level 3 spellcaster tuner who, as long as you have a Pursuit of Justice spellcaster on the field, can special summon himself from the hand, and if he's banished from the graveyard, you get to special summon another Pursuit of Justice spellcaster back from the grave.
I worked so hard to memorize that spell. Please, don't break my concentration.
This can be very useful in late game, letting you recycle some of your powerful extra deck monsters that might have fallen to the grave already, and also just functionally represents more extension, as most of these level 3 dudes do.
I'm the great sage Salah's #1 student. I want to be just like him someday.
Next up, it's Pursuit of Justice, Ross the Talented Trainee.
My name is Ross. I'm the son of Warrior Garcia, and the best denied!
Like with all the others, he's got 2 hard once per turn effects, the first of which, if you control a Pursuit of Justice warrior, just lets him summon himself freely from the hand. If he's destroyed by battle or card effect, you can get to target a Pursuit of Justice monster in the graveyard and add it back to your hand.
You've got to fight for what matters to you. That's what it means to be a warrior. My father taught me that.
Ross essentially enables you to easily recoup advantage when you are making some of your bigger pushes.
A summoner? Gates to other worlds?
Psycho Mantis.
Next up, it's Pursuer of Justice, Natasha the Sacred Healer.
My name is Natasha. I was a servant of the people at Grado's Imperial Temple.
Now, she's a level 3 spellcaster with 300 attack and 1600 defense. Like with all the other level 3s, she has 2 effects, both of them are hard once per turn. On normal summon, you get to target 1 Pursuit of Justice monster in your graveyard, or that is banished, and add it back to your hand. And if she's banished from the graveyard, she can be special summoned.
If we are able to save and rebuild Grado, I don't care what happens to me.
Natasha is the only monster that has a normal summon effect, so you want to ideally save your normal summon for her to recoup some advantage. And her revival effect on being banished from the graveyard is of course very easy to trigger, either using Amelia, where you basically just get yourself a level 3 Natasha directly from deck, as well as the one that you banish from the graveyard, or with either the fusion or ritual spell that can banish monsters from the graveyard as material.
Please, grant me strength.
For the final level 3, we have Pursuit of Justice, Tethys the Desert Dancer.
If we do our best, good things will come of it. And then, even better things after that.
She's a level 3 warrior with 1100 attack and 1600 defense, with the same stipulations as all the others, with 2 hard once per turn effects. If you control a level 3 Pursuit of Justice monster, you can special summon this card from your hand, and as a quick effect, she can bounce herself to hand to special summon 1 Pursuit of Justice monster from your hand or graveyard except herself. Now, Tethys is probably the most flexible card in the archetype.
I've been working on a new dance, so let me know if you need a morale boost.
Just being able to freely special summon herself, just if you have a level 3 out, is incredible and is pretty much always going to be live. And her quick effect allows you to be both proactive during your turn to get some more functional extension from the graveyard, and also reactive in the opponent's turn to be able to bring back one of your boss monsters.
You want to know what made me the woman I am today? Hard work, of course.
Next up in main deck monsters, we've got Pursuit of Justice, Cormag the Righteous Wyvern Rider.
I'm Cormag, and this Wyvern is Generog. Nice to meet you.
Now this is the first of the main deck level 6s, and he's a level 6 Wind Warrior, with a standard stipulation where you can't special summon monsters except for Pursuit of Justices, and has the effect that if you control a level 6 Pursuit of Justice monster, as a summon that does not start a chain, you can special summon him from the hand or graveyard. You can only summon him once per turn this way, and while he's out in the field, other Pursuit of Justice monsters cannot be targeted by opponent's card effects.
For atonement, revenge, entertainment, for power, or for fun, I don't know why I fight.
Both the summoning condition and the on-field effect allow you to set up some ridiculous end boards. Being a summon that does not start a chain, he is able to flexibly get himself into the field without the opponent being able to respond, which is really useful in pushing for some of those stronger end boards.
Is there a cleric in the castle? This kitten needs healing.
Our final main deck non-ritual monster is Pursuit of Justice, Lute the Prodigy.
I'm Lute, genius mage extraordinaire. You've probably heard of me.
Standard effects where you can't summon monsters except Pursuit of Justices, but that doesn't really matter with this card because you're not really ever going to be putting Lute on the field. Instead, she's a hand trap to be used in the opponent's turn. So as a quick effect during the opponent's turn, you can banish her from your hand and banish 1 Sacred Stone card from your graveyard, and then apply the following appropriate effect based on the name of the banished card. So if you banish the Sacred Stone of Renee, which is the ritual spell, you can ritual summon 1 Erica from your hand or deck by banishing materials whose total levels equal or exceed 6 from your hand, field or graveyard. Or if you've got the Sacred Stone of Rawston in the grave to banish, this lets you as a quick effect basically make one of your fusions in the opponent's turn by banishing the required material from your hand, field or graveyard. If you pick the Sacred Stone of Johanna, this allows you to then synchro summon a Pursuit of Justice monster by banishing the required synchro material from your hand, field or graveyard. And then if you have the Sacred Stone of Frelia in the graveyard to banish, you get to immediately link summon a Pursuit of Justice monster by banishing the required link material from your hand, field or graveyard. Each of these effects is standalone incredible, and the flexibility that Loot gives the deck in terms of being able to go into some very offensive and defensive options in the opponent's turn based on what stones you manage to get in the grave makes her a really valuable include.
I'm just that good.
Much like the Tearlament decks and some of the other modern Yu-Gi-Oh decks, while you have Loot in hand, it's not their turn, it's our turn.
1, 2, 3.
What?
1 fuse, 2 number 5.
Oh man, what's with these chain links, bro? It's my turn! My turn, bro! It's my turn! No more, bro! Stop, bro! Man, I'm done!
You and I should stick together for a while longer. After all, there's no one better than me.
And that's it for the main deck monsters, aside from the ritual monster, Erica, which we'll get to in a moment. But first, let's have a quick look at the ritual spell used to summon her. So, the Sacred Stone of Renee. This card is used to ritual summon Pursuit of Justice Erica, the Restoration Lady. You must also tribute monsters from your hand or field, and or banish Pursuit of Justice monsters from your graveyard whose total levels equal 6 or more. You only activate 1 of it per turn. So let's take a look at the lovely lady herself.
I am Princess Erica of Renee.
So Erica, the Restoration Lady, is a level 6 light warrior ritual monster, and can be ritual summoned using the Sacred Stone of Renee. Once per chain, if your opponent activates a card or effect, as a quick effect, you can discard a Pursuit of Justice monster and negate that card or effect and destroy that card. She has 2 hard once per turn effects. On her successful ritual summon, you can Xyz summon Ephraim the Restoration Lord from your extra deck, using 1 Pursuit of Justice monster from your graveyard as material. As the other effect of Erica, during your main phase, you can just simply add 1 Pursuit of Justice monster from your deck to your hand. And finally, you can only control 1 Pursuit of Justice Erica the Restoration Lady.
I was once weak and I understood nothing. But as a princess, I must change.
Erica is the card that the archetype centralizes around. You want to make sure you can summon her every single time you're going first, ideally as early in your turn as possible, so that she can act as negates to your opponent's infinite impermanence, effect veilers, other sort of hand traps. As long as you can get Erica down early, and you have those resources in hand, which are pretty easy to come by given how much of the archetype revolves around recouping lost advantage, you're able to basically shut down your opponent's plays and ensure that you can keep going off. And when you finish your board with Erica out and 2 or 3 cards left in hand past the opponent, you're giving yourself a pretty good shot against their board breakers. Add to that the fact that she, on basically every turn that she's left unchecked, will be adding more resources to your hand that allow you to combo off or just basically act as functional negates. And the fact that on her summon, she brings out her brother Ephraim, who's a very powerful Xyz, which we'll get to in a minute. And you can see why this card is basically the focal point of the archetype.
Even after the fighting has ended, I want to do all I can to bring joy to the hearts of my people.
Next up, let's have a look at her brother, Pursuit of Justice Ephraim, the Restoration Lord.
I am Ephraim, Prince of Renee.
He's a rank 6 light warrior Xyz effect monster, requiring 2 level 6 Pursuit of Justice monsters with different types. Or of course being able to be summoned off of the on-summon effect of Pursuit of Justice Erica. He has 2800 attack and 1900 defense. If you control Erica the Restoration Lady, this card is unaffected by the opponent's card effects, and he has 2 hard once per turn effects. During your main phase, you can detach 1 material from this card, add 1 Sacred Stone card from your graveyard or that is banished to your hand. And at the start of the damage step, if he battles an opponent's monster, you can banish that monster.
I will fight to bring peace to this world.
Ephraim is the complete package for the archetype. Obviously very easy to bring out using Erica, he hits the board and is immediately unaffected by opponent's card effects. Add to that he presents some good recoverability with your Sacred Stone cards, which whilst not being necessarily useful on turn 1, as you would rather keep the stones in the graveyard to banish with loot, if he makes it back round to your next turn, you can obviously then recover the ritual spell or the fusion spell that you've banished with loot and get yourself back off to the races again. His ability to also be able to just run through anything in battle by banishing it is very strong as well, as this deck can struggle against a lot of archetypes that put out beefy guys with high attack values.
When I was growing up, I never thought about becoming king. But now, I will be king, and I will dedicate myself to the happiness of my people.
Our other Exceeds monster is Pursuit of Justice Seth the Silver Knight.
People tell me I'm not much fun to be around. You have my apologies.
Who's a rank 3 light warrior Exceeds monster requiring 2 level 3 Pursuit of Justice monsters with different types. While out on the field, Pursuit of Justice Erica the Restoration Lady cannot be targeted or destroyed by opponent's card effects or be tributed. He also gains 300 attack for each Pursuit of Justice monster that is banished, so even though he starts with a piddling 1400 attack, his attack can reach, like 2000, 3000 pretty darn quickly by the end of the turn. And as a once per turn quick effect, you can detach a material from him to target one spell or trap on the field and destroy it.
You ought not grow close to me. In war, a leader may have to forego attachments and send soldiers to die.
Seth is a fantastic extra deck card to go into before you end your turn. You can either try and make him early to give Erica protection against Nibiru, or if you make him at the end of your turn, you still get general protection against Kaijus, Lava Golem, Sphere Mode, any other kind of thing that might want to try and tribute your Erica. Obviously also giving it targeting and destruction protection is very nice too, but the tributing protection is probably the most valuable. He'll also be pretty darn massive with an attack value close to 3000 or more, based on how many things you've banished, which will normally be quite a lot over the course of a standard combo. The ability to just also detach a material to quick effect pop a spell trap in the field can be really useful, especially against back row heavy decks.
Prince Ephraim, Princess Erica, please save Renee. I will lay down my life to protect you.
We move now to the country of Rawston and its Sacred Stone, which is the fusion spell for the archetype. It reads, fusion summon one Pursuit of Justice fusion monster from your extra deck by banishing its fusion materials from your hand, field or graveyard, and you can only activate one of its name per turn. Let's now take a look at the 2 fusions this card can make. First up, it's Pursuit of Justice Larakel, the Light of Rawston.
That's right, I'm Ralston's own Oopsie, almost revealed my secret identity.
She's a level 6 light spellcaster fusion with 1600 attack and 2800 defense. She requires 3 Pursuit of Justice monsters with different names to make. She has 2 effects, but you can only use one of them per turn and only once that turn. On its fusion summon, you can target a level 4 or lower Pursuit of Justice monster in your graveyard and special summon it, but it cannot attack this turn. And if this fusion summon card is sent to your graveyard, you can shuffle 3 of your banished Pursuit of Justice monsters into your deck and draw 2.
Rather than lament what you do not possess, you should treasure what you do.
So it's got a sort of a mini Pot of Avarice effect if it leaves the field and gets sent to graveyard, and a revival on summon. She's got some pretty good applications. She's not something you always strive to make every turn on end board, but she can enable your combos to go a little bit harder, so she's pretty useful.
That I would be called a hero? Oh, how enchanting!
Our other fusion monster is Pursuit of Justice Myrrh, the Great Dragon.
My name's Myrrh. I sensed something ominous, so I left home to pursue it.
She's a level 10 wind monster, dragon type fusion effect, requiring 5 Pursuit of Justice monsters with different names to make. She's got 3500 attack and a beefy 3200 defense too. As a continuous effect, your opponent can only activate 1 spell trap per turn, and then she has 2 hard once per turn effects. If this card is fusion summoned, you can banish 1 card the opponent controls face down, and if this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can banish the top 5 cards of your deck, special summon this card during your next standby phase.
I think it's very rude to try and sneak up on a lady like that.
Now obviously investing 5 Pursuer of Justice monsters to make this boss is quite a commitment, but Myrrh more than makes up for it with 3 very strong effects. Her continuous effect just to be able to shut down the opponent's spell trap access each turn is really useful, especially paired with an Erica, which can really limit the opponent's options and what they can do to interrupt and disrupt your board. Pretty much the only major outs if you've got Myrrh and Erica out are things like Dark Water No More or Forbidden Droplet. The fact that on summon she just banishes something face down, no targeting, makes her incredible with loot. So if you can get to a position where you end your turn with loot in hand, Raston in the graveyard, and enough Pursuer of Justice monsters to make Myrrh, you have a really powerful way to interrupt whatever the opponent starts with. Then the effect to just kind of banish top 5 cards of your deck to come back isn't too crazy, but it can just mean that you're always ensure that as long as the opponent is destroying Myrrh, you can always bring her back and shut down their spell trap access again.
Sometimes in war, We must take up arms against nice people. I grieve for them.
Now we'll move on to our link plays. So first up, we've got our Sacred Stone of Frelia, which is a normal spell with the following effect. You can target one Pursuit of Justice link monster you control. This turn it can be treated as a level 3 or level 6 monster for a ritual, synchro or exceed summon of a Pursuit of Justice monster. This effect, let's be real, isn't that great. I'd say this card is like a one-of. You never really need to use this effect, and it's not a card you ever like search with Calm, but it can be good to have in the graveyard just as a flexible way that loot can further your plays by going into the link 3 in the opponent's turn. Also, there are some applications if you're desperately needing like another level 6 on the field, you can turn your link 1 into that just to be able to provide an overlay material, or turning a link 1 into sort of your whole ritual requirement if you're trying to make the ritual monster on the cheap. So it does have some potential, but it doesn't really need to be used in every turn 1 set. Next, let's have a look at the link monsters for this archetype. First up is the link 1 Pursuer of Justice Tanner the Frelian Flyer, which might as well be called Pursuer of Justice Tanner the Frequent Flyer by the number of times you're going to make this girl each game.
I am a Knight of Frelia!
She's a light link 1 warrior monster with a bottom right arrow and just requires one Pursuer of Justice monster to make. While you control a face-up Inez, the strategic sharpshooter, which is our link 3, which we'll get to in a second, your activation and effects of Sacred Stone cards cannot be negated. If she is link summoned, you can add a Pursuer of Justice tuner from deck to hand, and you can only link summon one Tanner per turn.
Am I a little bit stronger now? I hope so.
This is bonkers, right? So you special summon Calm from hand, you immediately link Calm into Tanner. This procs two things, so you can chain block to prevent Ash, where you can A, get your Sacred Stone card with Calm, and B, get any tuner with Tanner. Now, generally the best tuner that you're going to pull with Tanner is going to be Ross. It's just a free level 3 special summon straight afterwards because you've got the warrior on field. Or you can pull Amelia if you want to be able to chug through a bit more material by like banishing. That just kind of enables all your plays to go off without a hitch. So she is crucial for the deck.
My brother is so cruel. You should hear what he said to me.
Next up, we've got Pursuer of Justice Inez, the strategic sharpshooter.
I am no ordinary archer. I am Prince Innes of Frelia,
who is a link 3 fire warrior monster requiring 2+ Pursuer of Justice monsters, and on field he can make 2 attacks during each battle phase. And then he has 2 hard once per turn effects. On his link summon, if he was made using both warrior and spellcaster monsters as material, you can target 1 card on the field and banish it. And then if he's banished from the graveyard, you can draw a card.
We of noble birth do not shirk the duties to which we are born.
Whilst Inez can be made on your turn 1, he doesn't really have any effects that make him integral to the turn 1 setups for this archetype, so he's generally more of a flexible option when going second. He's nothing too fancy, nothing too crazy combo wombo oriented, but functionally just works as a decent removal spell.
One day, I will be crowned king. When that day comes, I will welcome you to my kingdom.
Next up is our final Sacred Stone, the Sacred Stone of Johanna. So, if you control a Pursuer of Justice Joshua the Flashing Blade, you can add 1 level 6 Pursuer of Justice monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand. Very simple, very clean. Our penultimate card is Pursuer of Justice Noel the Dark Diviner.
My name is Noel. I was one of Grado's top researchers in arcane matters.
He is a level 6 Dark Spellcaster Synchro, requiring 1 tuner and 1+ non-tuner Pursuit of Justice monsters. It's got 2400 attack and 2600 defense, which are decent stats on a level 6. And then it has 2 effects, but they are each hard once per turn, and you can only use 1 of them per turn. If he is synchro summoned, you can target 1 Pursuit of Justice monster in your graveyard or that is banished, and up to 2 cards in your opponent's graveyard. You add that first target to your hand, then shuffle the second targets, if any, into the deck. It also has a quick effect where you can just target a Pursuit of Justice monster in your graveyard, special summon it, but its effects on the field are negated until the end of the turn.
I was branded a traitor and arrested. I was just 1 day from execution.
Both of these effects of Null are very strong. Obviously the on summon, just being able to recur a card back to hand, is super good when you have Erica out. The ability to also banish from the opponent's graveyard with that doesn't normally come up on turn 1 unless you've already faced like a hand trap, but can be good like if you're going into your turn 2 and the opponent's got some annoying things in the graveyard that have revival or recur ability. Null is a good way of ensuring they don't get that value. His other effect, just being able to quick effect revive a Pursuit of Justice monster, is very strong just going into the opponent's turn, just so you can give you back like a Cormag or a Seth or an F-Flame, just to give yourself some more extra protection for your Erica or your other monsters. Or it could just be useful if Null makes it back round to your turn. Sometimes also you want to neglect the on-summon effect if you're playing first, just so you can do that quick effect to revive a guy, which is also a really solid line.
It is said that time flows like a river. Does it follow that you can read that flow? Each ripple, every wave.
And finally, we've got Pursuer of Justice Joshua the Flashing Blade.
Care to test your luck? Heads, I win. Tails, you lose.
He's a level 9 Fire Warrior Synchro, requiring 1 tuner plus 1 plus non-tuner Pursuer of Justice monsters to make, and has 2 effects that are hard once per turn. If he is Synchro summoned, you can target up to 3 cards on the field and destroy them. Then, if at least 1 card you control is destroyed by this effect, you can add 1 of the Sacred Stone of Johanna from your deck to your hand. It also has the effect during the main phase, you can just send a Pursuer of Justice monster from deck to graveyard.
Guess you caught me cheating, huh?
So the optimal play with this is to be able to summon Joshua while you have a Ross on board. So even if you're not able to destroy any cards the opponent controls, if you destroy your own Ross, you then search Johanna and then you proc Ross in the graveyard to add back any of your Pursuer of Justice monsters to hand for another Erica Negate play. So that's a really strong combo line that this deck enables. This card is very crucial to your combos and basically generates more than enough advantage to warrant the hassle of going into him. He also is a pretty good card to make in the opponent's turn using loot plus the Johanna in the graveyard by being able to just blow up 3 cards on the field, which can devastate some decks if they don't have targeting protection or are unprepared for it. So sometimes just having loot in hand and Sacred Stone Johanna in graveyard just presents game over, because being able to make Joshua while you have Erica on board is just so backbreaking.
One day I will return to our country, just as I promised. I swear it.
So yeah, that's the archetype. On the screen now are the very original drawings I did for this archetype back in 2014, as I said. So at this point in time, I had the goal of making every single playable character from firing the Sacred Stones as a member of this archetype. And so you ended up with, was it like 30 odd monsters, that most of which did absolutely nothing and were all kind of terrible. But I don't know, they were kind of fun. That whole game plan back in the day was they had like 3 different routes that you go in. You could either play like the cavalry characters, which had their own unique spell called Cavalry Charge. You could either play the Pegasus Knight characters that had triangle attack, or you could play the kind of more standard Sword Master characters. And the archetype debuted in a set called Organization of Gloom, where you had the Pursuers of Justice representing half the pack contents, and the Generals of Grado and Grado Warriors, which are the villains from the Sacred Stones, representing the other half. There was nothing salvageable from them that was worth like trying to make modern. Whereas with these Pursuer of Justice, I have a very close affinity to Sacred Stones being the first Fire Emblem game I ever played. This game was just fantastic. Like the sprite work, that classic chiptune music, learning how Fire Emblem games actually work through playing this game. Like it was a series I'd always heard about but never had a chance to play. And then when I played this through the 3DS Ambassador program, just watching my characters grow stat by stat as they leveled up, and having to preserve them in some battles where dying was final, and restarting chapters because I wanted to save characters I liked and what have you, and sometimes thinking, oh god, this chapter's so difficult, I'm just going to have to take the acceptable loss if somebody does die. It's sad, but I don't want to go through the grief of playing through this again. So yeah, I learned a lot about the series here, and I have a really close affinity to a lot of the characters. Joshua is so much fun. Noel, I found, was a really interesting late game character to add to the team. All the recruit characters were generally pretty upbeat, and it was nice seeing Ross's relationship with Garcia develop throughout the game. Erica, in my view, is a really good main protagonist, and while I enjoyed the F-Flame storyline, just because you play Erica's from the first half of the game, I always ended up going with Erica's route, and I think that's more compelling and fulfilling storyline. And Seth is just a badass that I'm thankful that he's always there to protect Erica. Laraka was a lot of fun too with Dozla. Can't beat those guys. And then you've got some dudes like Coleman Namie, which had a nice romance. Lute was always one of my favourite mages. I liked Mulder as well, just because his name was stupid. So yeah, there's a lot to this game to really enjoy and look back on. So I really wanted to do it justice by making a powerful archetype out of it. I think whilst the end boards I'm going to present in a minute showcase just how devastating this archetype can be, it loses very heavily to things like Dark Ruler No More, Forbidden Droplet, Droll and Rockbird. Like with a lot of decks in modern Yu-Gi-Oh, it's draw the out essentially to beat this deck. But I think it's a more linear game plan because it's so archetype restricted. Does keep it in check from being too busted. I hope you enjoyed this archetype, and please do enjoy the couple of replays coming up now. I will commentate them, just sort of going through all the plays. Hello and welcome to the Pursuit of Justice deck profile. In this build I've got triple Amelia, triple Colm, double Cormag, double Ewan, double Lute, triple Natasha, triple Ross, triple Tethys and triple Erica as the main deck monsters. We also have a Called by the Grave, triple Prosperity, triple Pre-Prep, one Reinforcement of the Army, one Frelia, one Johanna, triple Ralston and triple Renee. In the side we've just got some standard good side deck cards for this current format, and in the extra deck we've got double Larakal, one Myrrh, double Joshua, double Null, double Ephraim, double Seth, one Inez and triple Tanner. Right, let's hop into solo mode so I can show you how this deck works and some of the very strong setups it can produce. So take a look at our starting hand. This is pretty good. Ross and Amelia is a decent combo in and of itself. We are going to go for the Pot of Prosby here. I feel emboldened by the fact that we've got Called by the Grave here, that this will go through no matter what. So we'll banish face down, banish face down, banish face down. We are ideally looking for a Colm here, although we will take an Erica because Erica is still also very useful given what we've got in hand. Pre-prep would also be nuts. Yeah, looking at all these, Colm is the best choice, so we'll grab the Colm to hand. So we're going to then special summon the Colm out, and then immediately link him into Tanner. This is going to proc two things. Firstly, Tanner on chain 1 as a mandatory effect to add a tuner from deck to hand, and Colm on chain 2 to add a Sacred Stone card from deck to hand. So let's grab... Interestingly, Frelia is the add here because it's going to allow us to make Joshua very easily, which will be very good given we've got Renee, so we can just immediately add ourselves the Ritual Monster to hand. So now we're going to go for the Frelia here. We'll just target our Tanner and turn her into a level 6 for the turn effectively. Since we control a warrior one, we can special summon Ross out, and then we're going to go for the normal summon of Amelia here. Yeah, we'll proc Amelia. So we're going to banish Colm and summon a Colm from the deck. And then we're going to go Amelia and the level 6 Tanner. Make Joshua. Two things are going to trigger here. Mandatory effect of Joshua on chain 1 if it's synchro summoned to target up to 3 cards on the field and destroy them. And then effect of Tanner on chain link 2. To add a level 3 Pursuit of Justice monster from my deck to my hand. So we'll get a Pursuit of Justice. Just looking at this hand, I think Tethys is probably the best just as another free extender because we've used our normal summon already. And then we'll resolve Joshua to pop Ross. And then add Johanna from... Then Ross is going to get us back a level... get us back one of these Pursuit of Justice monsters to our hand. So we're going to bring back... Doesn't really matter which because we're probably just going to send them away as ritual material, so we'll bring back the Amelia. We're now going to go Johanna. Since we control Joshua, we can add a level 6 Pursuit of Justice monster from our deck to hand. Normally, if we'd access the ritual monster earlier through either hard drawing it or through pre-prep, here's where we'd add Loot for follow-up on the opponent's turn, but in this case, we obviously just need to get the ritual on board just to be able to kind of produce that. We're going to go special the Tethys since we control Colm. We're going to go for Joshua here to just send a Pursuit of Justice monster from my deck to the graveyard. And with this, we will send Natasha to the grave. Now we're going to go Renee. We will banish Natasha and guess Tanner. Whilst editing this, I realised that I should have been banishing Ross as the rest of the ritual material because Tanner is a link monster in the graveyard. And then Tanner would have been summoned back as the material for Ephraim. Doesn't affect anything meaningful, but just wanted to make a note of that. I only realised this when editing the video. Special Erica. Proc Erica's on summon and proc Natasha to summon herself back. So we'll summon Natasha here. And then we bring back Ross. And put our good boy Ephraim on top. At this point we can overlay Natasha and Colm, make ourselves a Seth, who we've got 2 face-up banishment, so he's on 2000 attack, so yeah, probably make this guy in defense mode. But I think we're just kind of happy on this end board. We've got 1 negate in hand. No, we actually, we've got more than that. We haven't actually done Erica's effect to add a monster. Gosh, this deck is sometimes crazy with the lines it can make. Do I just want to go for full muscle with Cormac, or do I just want to go for loot? I think at this point we're just going to grab ourselves a loot. Whether we use the loot or not is another matter. We've just got 2 Omni Negates here. Erica can't be targeted or destroyed by card effects or be tributed. And Ephraim's unaffected by card effects, and we've got access to a myriad of expedite monsters in the opponent's turn. We've got access to Inez to just banish a card on the field. We can actually even go into Tana just to search a Pursuit of Justice Tuner for our next turn. We're feeling pretty good here. We're going to set the Called by the Grave, and that is going to be it. So that was a slightly janky turn setup in the sense of we didn't have Erica in the opening hand, and we had to go through a bit of a long journey to get her, but we ended with a pretty strong board that I think only Dark Corner and more Forbidden Droplet really deal with. Right, now let's reset the deck and try again, and hopefully this time I play correctly. Let's just shuffle the deck up and draw 5. I mean, this is a pretty good hand, just having Colm access immediately, which we're gonna just go through this standard loop. Colm, make Tana, proc Tana and Colm. We've got to go for Renee and Ross. Special Ross, special Tethys, normal Amelia, Declare, we'll banish Colm, summon another Colm. We'll go Colm and Ross here to make Null. And then we will not use its on Synchro Summon effect. Instead, we're going to do its quick effect to target Pursuit of Justice monster in my graveyard to summon it, but its effects on the field are negated until the end phase. So we'll use that to bring back Ross. Then we will use Null and Amelia. Make Joshua. 2 things will trigger here. Joshua's mandatory effect to try and target up to 3 cards on the field. And then Amelia, since it was used as a material for a warrior, can add a level 3 Pursuit of Justice from deck. Grab ourselves a level 3 warrior from deck to hand first of all. We'll go Ewan to hand. And then we will pop Ross and grab Johanna. Proc Ross here to add one of these guys back to my hand. Doesn't really matter who we add back to hand, we're just going to add back the Amelia here. Go Johanna, I'll grab Erica. We're going to go Renee here. We'll go Ewan, Amelia, summon Erica. Declare on summon of Erica, so we're going to bring, again, it doesn't really matter who we bring back here as long as we keep Ewan and Null in the graveyard, so we'll just bring Ross back and then put slap Ephraim on top of him. Ephraim here, we'll detach, grab Johanna back to hand. We will declare Erica to add a Pursuit of Justice monster from deck to hand. We're going to get ourselves loot. No, see, I'm going to run out of space on the board. I'm going to bounce Tethys to hand, summon back Noel. And then we have in the grave. Yeah, we're then going to go Ralston here, where we're just going to banish our grave. We're not going to be able to trigger Ewan. It doesn't really make a difference because Ewan would have just summoned the Noel back anyway, and I would have had to clear Tethys regardless. So we use those 4, and I want to keep Colm for next turn. We'll use the Tethys then as our 5th walk card. Summon out Mrr. And now the opponent can only use 1 spell trap per turn. We've got 2 negates in hand with Erica. We've got Loot to be able to go into Erica directly from deck next turn, as well as Ralston to potentially make the Larakel. We've got Unaffected by Everything Ephraim. We've got Joshua, who's just chilling. I'm feeling pretty good. Like, again, in this setup, I didn't need to use the Joshua effect to get attached to the graveyard because my field was full up anyway. But yeah, you could have, if you had a slightly wonky hand, you could have also, Joshua to dump the Natasha, which you then could have revived back with the fusion spell. But I'm still feeling pretty good about this because even if they get rid of one thing, I've got Null who can just bring it back straight back. I know its effect on their field will be negated, but it still could be really powerful. Mrr is just an insane card that's slowing the opponent down. So yeah, this was a pretty good turn hand. It was a pretty good hand. Right, so I had a bit of an audio issue there, but we're back. This is our 3rd test hand. So looking at this, we've got the double Erica, which is a really nice lead, and we've got Cormag, which is good to have in the opening hand as well. We don't have much gas to start with, so we're going to fire off the pot here, and we're just going to hope we find either a pre-prep, which would be pretty good, or... Ooh, gosh. Okay, Rota is fine. Rota gets us into everything we need. Yeah, so we'll grab the Rota and bottom everything else. And then we're going to go Rota. Grab Colm. Man, it's so nice just having Colm access so easily. So, yep. We'll Colm. You know the drill by now. Colm into Tanner. Trigger both of them. Grab a Sacred Stone and a Tuner. Renee. And where's Amelia? Oh, there she is. So like, what you can see from this is the Ross line is kind of janky, but it is necessary if you're missing a piece of Erica and you really want to make her on turn 1. But otherwise, Ross's normal use is just for that special summon. Like his Destroy by Battle card effect does combo nicely with Joshua, but it's not necessary in most turn 1 setups. Here is it's just super duper free to go Sacred Stone of Renee. Because we have the Cormag in hand, we'll just send Cormag to grave, make Erica. We'll declare Erica's on summon. So we're going to bring back Colm and put Ephraim on top. We're going to go normal summon here, declare, banish this Cormag, and grab the one from deck. Since we control a level 3, we'll just special summon out Tethys. I think Joshua's the best line here. We'll go 3 and 9. Make Joshua. We will declare Joshua's on summon to pop a card, and then Amelia's, and myself a level 3 Pursuit of Justice from deck to hand. So we're going to we'll just pop the Tanner, and then we can add Johanna and a level 3 from deck to hand. So let's grab Johanna. I'll grab Ewan. I'm going to declare Joshua here. We're going to bin a Natasha. Johanna. Grab Loot. Yeah, we're going to bounce Tethys back. Special the Natasha from the grave. That means that we can now special summon Ewan. Now with these two we can make a Null. So we're just going to link these two, also synchro these two into Null. So yeah, we'll use his on summon to get a Pursuit of Justice monster from my graveyard back to my hand. I think we're just going to grab back the Amelia for the next turn, or just for discard fodder. And then before end of play, we're going to special summon Cormag back. So we now finish on a field where we've got Ephraim unaffected by card effects. We have Cormag protecting our monsters from being targeted by card effects. And we have 4 negates with Erica, which is pretty darn good. I mean, we didn't manage to make Seth in this line in this play. I'm sure there was probably a line to it to give us tribute protection, But yeah, I mean, it just kind of just shows the flexibility of hands and how good this deck can be, provided you open decently, which most decks can, most hands can open well. It's like if you get drolled early on, obviously you kind of lose unless you have managed to get Erica out before they start hand trapping you. I'll try one more demo hand. This hand is fine actually, because we can go Erica for Erica. And now we go off to the races, where we declare, add a guy from deck to hand. We're just going to go for... We'll go Colm to hand here. So a normal Colm, special Tethys, float Colm into Tanner, declare both, so we get to add a stone and a tuner. Ross to hand, and we'll grab the Ralston, special Ross, Sinky Dinky, Sinky Dinky for no. I think we'll declare special summon back the Ross. This is going to be a little janky because we can't quite do the Johanna play blowing up Ross, but we're gonna regrettably lose our link monster here. We'll bring back Joshua, Kacha. We'll pop Tanner, and we'll grab Johanna. A Tanner for a Johanna seems like a fair deal to me. I'm just going to shortcut this here, so we get Johanna, and then Johanna gets us a level 6 to hand, which is going to be Cormag. You just put Johanna in the grave, shortcut that. How many have we got in the grave now? We have 5 in the grave, okay. We're going to go Joshua here. We're going to send Ewan, and then we're going to Ralston. We'll go Ewan, Tana, Ross, Tethys, and Colm. Summon Mer. Proc Ewan to revive Null. I have clogged my zones. We don't. Okay, so at this point we could have either revived Null or not. I'm going to go no, and then just summon Cormag, and then we've got loot in hand, and that's just another pretty strong, unbeatable board. Well, still beatable board, but a pretty darn hard to beat one. So there you have it, everyone. This archetype has been completed, and it's on to the next one. Anyway, next up I'll be doing probably a slightly smaller archetype that requires a little less resource intensive assets to bring to life, and then from there we'll see where we go. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and as ever, please subscribe and yeah, ring that bell. Oh, and please also check out my DeviantArt, link in the description below, for where I post the raw cards for all of these archetypes, so you can kind of get a sneak peek of what's to come. Anyway, thank you very much again for watching. Goodbye.